Kurt Schwitters. In Berlin not so much. He in provincial Hanover. Not so loud and aggressive as in Berlin. Exactly therefore so much the more artist for me. Metzbau. I envied him. Simply to start something, to impel something on, let evolve, not knowing where it's going. I was very sad that it was destroyed. Anna Blume, du tropfest hier. Ich liebe dir. What beautiful lines, what a tender poem. Rauf, runter, rauf. Punkt obendrauf. Kurt Schwitters, certainly Alba and many others, but he fascinated me the most. I dreamed therefrom to be him. Would be possible. Pen and paper. Wood, paint, materials which could be bought everywhere. Newspapers and ads. Actually, there was no reason. Except. Kurt Schwitters. You should have an idea, not necessarily an exact aim, to finish something, not the exact form, the content, the reason, the why. Kurt Schwitters. Why does it take so long sometimes? So long till something happens? He suffered in his time. He suffers from his time, which ostracized his work, not only his. I could have worked unfettered. Kurt Schwitters. März, Commerce, Future. George Gross. His pictures and especially also the drawings and prints, Ecce Homo, have robbed me the breath, have made me speechless, robbed me the mind. And yet I only would have to look closely, I would have recognized me in a Philistine, the one who talks big, the one who knuckled under 33, pondering about his possible personal benefit regarding the development. And after, the good family man would have gone to the brothel and would have get his cock licked by a 13-year-old whore. Huhngespräche Lutschließe. The conditions were thus, how they are today. Why anything repeats itself, perhaps only to another place? India, land of great opportunities for investors and doers. There that Philistine speaks, holding his trite speeches and looking at the pictures and drawings by Gross, is excited at the exhibition and regrets that he has lessened in his late work. What would he has be due to do? Not to return to Germany. I would not do it. Would I become thus far once as he did? You see what you have there from? How banal, how sublime the endless ocean. George Gross. He was one of the great discoveries of my time in Ludwigsburg and Stuttgart, after the fruitless time of apprenticeship. He, Dix, Margret and Ernst were the ones that moved and occupied me the most. Just a pity that so little come to light thereby. Maybe it has only lasted endlessly. Paul Wunderlich. I saw the unicorn twice. Once many years ago, now again. I think the first time in the same art gallery in Heilbronn as now. The unicorn of Wunderlich is so entirely different than the one of Elizabeth. Yours is like a supernal white, sublime creature. I want to embrace her, to fall around her neck, but only the virgin it's possible, when she puts her head in her lap. The unicorn of Wunderlich is armored, not threatening, but she leaves no doubt that she's able to defend herself, that she has no desire for contact with a human. She's a smart unicorn. The unicorn of Wunderlich, so shiny, so matte, so elegant with her long pointed, twisted horn. I feel like it impels myself, like the horn penetrates my abdominal wall, pushes between my intestines, the spine, there where it hurts so once, centrical, through the marrow, penetrates, splits, and again becomes visible on the other side. An excited shiver runs through my body. The unicorn of Wunderlich, so heavy, so solid. The unicorn of Elizabeth, as light as a feather appearing. His will not yield, she will stay, firmly, immovable. Hers is shy, she will yield, flee. Unicorns just as cities, so different they can appear. My unicorn is part of the endless universe, and a city with the endless ocean. Will she be mine one day, at least in the way as the unicorn? Otto Dix. Several times I had to write something about him. His images have created a deep, everlasting impression. They are part of me, I am a part of them. S. Pictures, drawings, studies, cartoons. Feelings which I could hardly control, could suppress. If only I had given them full scope once wept in front of one of his pictures. In public, not hidden. How liberating this might have been. But then they would become aware of me. I would have to say, to tell, to confess something. Not I could get lost in the shuffle of visitors. Not could be invisible. Alison. I liked as he painted women. The horse, just like the actresses and the other famous women. He saw into the people, painted their inner. Of course, the question arose how he would have painted me. But what a ridiculous, hypocritical question. Never it will ever give an answer. How senseless and chumming up the question then. Big city. I was repelled, and likewise I yearned in her, at this time in her to live. Big city symphony. Although it was obvious to me that these were only illusions, the reality much more banal. The reality is always much more banal. That was already obvious to me early. Literature, film, painting, and also music had often enough shown and thematized it. And yet I yearned thereafter, also admitting that I would not be among the winners. Had I ever won once? Had I ever played once? Well, Marilyn, West Coast. What for silly dreams you yet are, and yet so wise beyond all measure. Sometimes you just have to gamble. If you are not drinking, then you are not playing. Ecce Homo. War. Voluntarily. Never. To kill another person. What a terrible thought. Even the thought of it. That it could happen. That it might have happened. Anxiety states. I simply do not understand it. Never nightmares. Never. War. The greatest insanity of man. Here he reveals his grotesque face. Here he shows who he really is. At least murder due to greed, for land, territory, resources. Murder because of ideals, faith, higher truth, values, to which abstruse, perverse thoughts man is still capable. At the side of the battlefields, of the wars which are conducted in this hour, how I shall condemn the one who not kills the little children in a closet, but shreds, shots into pieces. What shall I hold against him? Ecce Homo. Max Ernst. His large exhibition in Stuttgart was one of the greatest moments in my life. I began to study art history. Never I had seen so many works of an artist, and what sort of ones. All the techniques, the sizes, very small sized works cast a spell over me, the great masterpieces. It was a frenzy, a single frenzy to go through the rooms. I rushed at the beginning, ran, wanted to see all. Preferably I would have screamed with happiness. Of course did not. Lop lop. I was unable to conceive anything. Gladly would have touched anything. I would like to have hugged the images, would like to have had sex with them. I was excited. My mind exploded, unable to think straight. Would I have been able to understand it at that time? No. And later? When I leafed through the exhibition catalogue countless times? Perhaps. But it was the time of displacement, the time in which it seemed as if never something had happened. And technically seen, just nothing has happened. What would have been, would I have realized what I see there on these pictures? Already some of the titles. Would I have understood it, that these images were mirrors? Mirrors that showed my heart, my mind, my broken mind. That he was my Virgin Mary, who prays the rosary for me. But I did not hear the prayer, even when I felt something that these images were something very, very special for me. Too bad that I was afraid of doing, just to get myself into the pictures. But that I could at no time, just to get myself into something for no reason. And so I contain these images decades inside me. And when I look at them now, I cry. For no reason. For no reason I will also cry when I'm facing one of the originals again. For no reason. And everyone's permitted to see it. When this one, that with his bracelets and rings, begin to cry. When he finally opens himself to art and adhere to his feelings. St. Cecilia, The Invisible Piano, State Gallery, Stuttgart. Thank you for listening.